Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called After. Based on Anna Todd's best selling novel, which became a publishing sensation on social storytelling platform Wattpad, After follows Tess, a dedicated student, dutiful daughter, and loyal girlfriend to her high school sweetheart as she enters her first semester in college. Armed with grand ambitions for her future, her guarded world opens up when she meets the dark and mysterious Hardin Scott, a magnetic, brooding rebel who makes her question all she thought she knew about herself and what she wants out of life. This is a 2019 film. It's rated PG 13. It runs an hour and 43 minutes, and it stars Josephine Langford, Hero Fiennes Tiffin, Selma Blair, Inanna Sarkis, Shane Paul McGee, and Pa Mia, and Kaloja Red Thunder, Dylan Arnold, Samuel Larson, and also has Jennifer Beals and Peter Gallagher. This is After. Never heard of this movie. It kind of came up in my research, and it just was available at the library, so I was able to get it. And I watched it a couple days ago or so. I've been having a couple of busy days, so I just had to wait till now to do my review. And yeah, this is another, high school, college kind of. I don't know what I'm doing in the world. I've never been loved. One of those stories, even though it's based off of this prolific book, this bestseller, it's just another romantic, stupid movie. And it couldn't even do that right. So we have had the twist that's in this movie many, many, many times before. The same twist. And so, that part of the movie did not surprise me whatsoever. It was suggested throughout the film. Our supportive characters were suggesting it the whole time. So, nothing surprising about the twist. Our main actors, I'm just going to say this because it's what I've been thinking while I was watching the movie. This is like a bad version of 50 Shades of Grey. It really is. There are not too many people who liked the Shades of Grey movies, and this is a bad version of that. It's rated PG-13, which is one way it's rated. One reason that it's worse because it's not okay with being, any kind of dangerous. It has, maybe two scenes that are not PG-13-ish, and it could have allowed for more of that if it just would have gone, the next step of being rated R. It could have cussed more. It could have had more of the suggested scenes, and so I don't really know. I mean, this movie is about college, but I don't think it's for college types. I think it's either for the older crowd who has actually read the book, or teenagers who like little romantic stories and want to relive, Twilight or something, because this our main character for the male is dark and mysterious. It's kind of like Twilight. So of course the girl's gonna choose him. Of course she's gonna end up with him. So, are you cheering for the main male or not? I think is the most intriguing thing this movie has going for it. In the whole Twilight scenario, which I brought up, we found ourselves wanting to cheer for a certain character, and we found ourselves kind of ending up hating them and cheering for the other guy. And this movie kind of has that factor in it, and sometimes it's effective. I mean, it was really effective with Twilight. So I don't know if it works for just one movie that's not going to be a series or anything like Twilight. Because with Twilight, we were able to develop and we were able to, encourage and kind of, over a couple movies, let you know who these guys are. In this one, it's just presented to you, and then you know what's going to happen, so there's not much mystery and there's not much cheering for each other guy. And then you just kind of know what's going to happen through the rest of the movie. So, I think the bad, why this movie is so bad, is because of the whole cast. Like the mother just says what she needs to say as herself. Everything feels so like, hey, say this line. And then that character says that line. And then, it just feels like the director is like standing by saying, okay, put a sad face on right now. Oh, look around and then look at her in a mysterious way, like something's going on. It just feels so stale of acting and feels so straightforward, so square that like nobody feels comfortable in this whole movie, and it very much feels like the lines they're saying. I laughed really hard about midway through this movie because there's one of our guy characters and our main girl character are together, and they're saying things about how they feel about each other, and then they kiss. And I was like, that is the cheesiest, most corniest thing I've ever heard. It's just awful. Just awful writing, awful carry through, awful, just everything about it was awful. And honestly, that was just like the summary of this movie. Was everything was corny, everything was cheesy, everything was, we've felt it before, we've seen it before. There's nothing original about this film whatsoever. It's great that a book was written to, inspire this movie being made, but I'm guessing the book was a lot different than this movie, and they kind of had to simplify it and make it for the masses so that people would be interested in it, because it's just so unoriginal, and it didn't inspire me whatsoever. And I really do want to go back and say, the comparison to 50 Shades of Grey, because the Shades of Grey movies that we got, people kept saying that the people in them just felt like they didn't want to be in there. They felt like their contracts made them be in those movies, especially the last one. And this one, not necessarily because people are younger, like they, I'm sure, wanted the money they made for this movie. I think they wanted to be in here, but the lines were so awful, and the carry through was so awful, and the characters and everything they got to do and say was so awful that I just can't imagine anybody like really wanting to do this and like bragging that they were in this, because it was so unoriginal and so uninspired. So I am going to give After D. I can't suggest watching it unless you just want to watch one more movie where girl is presented with life choice and she just chooses everything wrong because she has to do it on her own. And if you want to watch one more movie like that, go for it. I know a lot of people like the Shades of Grey movies. I know a lot of people like Twilight. I know a lot of people will like this, but I just don't get it. And I think it's one of the worst movies I've had to sit through for a while. I really didn't want to sit through it all the way through it because I knew what was coming at the end. And when the end came and it happened, I was like, yep, okay, now we're over. So a D for After. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and get something to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. Enjoy your movies. Thanks.